few weeks ago, I interviewed Ryan Hofer, who has a job that is similar to what I want to do later in life. My aspirations are to go to college and get a degree in either business or computer science. But I'm not 100% sure yet. That's why I interviewed Ryan. Ryan works at Horace Mann Investors Agency in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. His job title there is President of the Agency, Investment Representative, and Insurance Agent. So he has 3 titles. On a daily basis, he meets with his clients, he talks with them, gets their goals, gets their perspectives, and then offers them a product such as an investment plan or insurance plan to help them meet those goals. To set up this interview, I emailed him, and a few days later, we did the interview over Zoom. For me, I felt like the interview process was pretty comfortable, and Ryan was very outgoing, so that made it very, very easy to do. And the communication process also went well. The first thing we talked about was how he got his job. The reason why he took his job is because he wanted to make more money. He wasn't making a lot of money as a teacher, so as most of you might know, teachers don't make a lot of money. But he also wanted more flexibility, and him being his own boss, that would give him a lot more flexibility instead of coming into work from 7 till 4 every day. So he wanted more freedom. To get his job, all you needed was a high school diploma. But you also need to take a few classes and tests to get your investment license. But he recommends that you take college courses, or at least get a bachelor's degree in business so you can get this job. It'd be much easier if you did. He even continues to take classes to this day to stay up with the current technology and investment strategies. The next thing we talked about was communication. He primarily uses face-to-face conversations, except now we're in a global pandemic, so lately he's been using a lot of Zoom conversations and a lot of emails. He doesn't like using phone conversations, however, because he thinks it's less personal and you can't really see how the other person is feeling because you can't see their body language or facial expressions. For him to be an effective communicator, he makes sure he listens intently to the person that he's talking to. He makes sure he shows them that they're interested in what they're talking about. He also uses scripting. Now you're probably thinking, don't telemarketers use scripting? No one wants to buy anything from telemarketers. But he scripts more like an actor would, so it seems like it's a normal conversation. He practices what he's going to say a lot, so it seems like a pretty natural thing to say. He also uses mirroring techniques. So if his customer is talking slowly, he will also talk slowly. At his job, he equally speaks and listens. He said they're both equally important for the customer's satisfaction and the success of his business. The age range he normally encounters is basically anyone from college students to anyone of any age possible, just as long as they have money to invest or stuff to put insurance on. With older people, he generally talks slower so they can process the information that he's saying, but with younger people, he tends to talk faster, especially if they seem like they're in a hurry, so they can just get the business over with. The next thing we talked about was any public speaking that he had to do. He speaks in front of large groups at some annual conventions that he talks at. He also speaks in front of large groups of customers, for example, like a whole school district of employees. To prepare for his audience, he once again scripts, so he gets everything in his head and he knows it like second nature. He also prepares for any questions that the audience might have, so that he'll give them a good answer without having to think that hard. Then I asked him possibly the most important question of this interview. What is the favorite part about your job? He responded with, he loves meeting with new people. He's very much a people person, so he likes talking to people a lot. He also likes the challenges that are posed at his job every day. He says no day is the same at his job. And he also loves writing checks to his employees. He says it's rewarding knowing you're making a difference in someone else's life. This interview process really helped me narrow down what I want to do in life. I learned on this career path, it takes a lot of communication individually and in front of large groups. So if I put my best work in and improve as a public speaker, I think I'd be pretty well suited for this job. I found it intriguing that he still has to take courses to this day. I felt like a job like that wouldn't have to take very many courses. I felt like if they knew what they were doing, that was all they'd have to do. Whether it's because he loves making money, loves talking to people, or loves writing checks, Ryan really seems like he loves his job. And he seems like he's really good at it too. I just hope someday I'll be in the same position as he is, even if